All right, so we've got SketchUp. Again, I recommend using SketchUp for school. It's on a different server than the old SketchUp that we used previously, but it is very cool and has a lot of cool stuff. So I would recommend using. Not required, but is strongly recommended. I'm going to start my house from scratch, building as I go. If you encounter problems or issues or questions on your own, then you are free to ask them. Again, this is a project we have our due date set for this December 18th. We are going to intermittently have these work days, maybe one, maybe two a week, going over how to build your own house. I'll be doing it. You'll also be doing it so you can work on it independently. And like I said, if you have something that comes up and you're like, hey, I don't remember how to make stairs, or I don't know how to make stairs, or I want to make a spiral staircase in my house, or hey, I want to have really cool siding on my house that actually has texture like my real house. I want to know how to do those things. That's what I'm here to help you do. Okay. We've gone over a couple of those examples, like the double funnel and the donut-ish shape. So give you some kind of extreme examples of shapes and how to build them. So a house is fairly straightforward in a sense, but a house can have a lot of detail. This is an opportunity for you to really stretch those creative muscles because it's virtual work. There's a lot of possibility of what you could do. So take your time, go slow, and really build out a pretty cool work. Okay, you have a while. Okay, I won't accept moving forward if we have a work day and you say, hey, I'm already done. I'm done working on it. I have nothing left to do. It's not really an option. Okay. If we have a work day, then we are working. Okay. So there's always more you can do, always more detail to add. So think of it as a long plan. You've got lots of opportunity to do lots of stuff. Okay. So don't rush through this. Okay. This is going to be weighted a little bit more than normal because we have such an opportunity to do it. Okay. When opening up your platform that you're going to be drawing in, I highly recommend to go in feet and inches. If you are more of a metric person, I mean, that's fine. Okay. So to start, I need to decide what I'm going to do as far as size. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this rectangle tool right here. I'm going to click in a specified area, nothing crazy. Okay, and then I'm going to think about what I would like the overall footprint of my house to be. Maybe I'm not sure, right? Thinking of like the actual size of a house can be kind of difficult. Okay, so maybe I want to build room by room. If I want to start with, like, say, a living room and think about that room being a specific size, maybe it's easier to break it down that way. Okay. Most houses, if we were to look, let's take a look. So let's say the average footprint. Okay. America's biggest homes are even bigger. The average size of home built last year was 2,600 square feet, an all-time high. Where homes average around 2,400 square feet. Okay, so this would be the entire house. Okay, so that would be containing multiple levels. Okay, so if we were to say a house, if you were going big, right, and you said one level was 2,000 square feet, you'd be looking at one instance would be, you could go, let's see, if we went this length times width, and we went 200 by 10, we'd be looking at 2,000 square feet. So if we were to go, let's say, instead of 200 by 10, what could we have for some decent ones? Anyone have some thoughts? Quick math out there. Instead of 200 by 10, any other thoughts? We could go 400 by 20. That would be another good one. Let's see, if we went 2,000 square feet, what about, we went divided by 60, you could go 60 by 30, pretty close. You could go, so let's go 50, you could go 50 by 40. So that's a pretty even measurement. So we went 50 feet, comma, 40 feet, okay? Now I dropped it way down, but we were looking at a pretty big thing. So this is a pretty big house right there, 50 by 40 feet. So that's a kind of a pretty close to a square, just a little bit off rectangle. So not a bad size, okay? Now, this could be many things. Is this the first floor? Is this the second floor? Is this the third floor? Who's to say? I mean, it's really up to you. Let's go with the assumption that my house footprint is the same from basement to first floor to third floor. For myself, you certainly can do more. I might make my first floor bigger than the basement, but I'm going to say this is my basement. Okay, so I have a footprint I'm going to build up. So the first thing I need to decide, I'm going to grab my pencil tool and I'm going to build up. So the first thing I need to decide, how tall are my walls? Okay, there's a lot of back and forth. A standard piece of drywall is 8 feet. Okay, pretty standard. Now, some houses, a lot of houses, my first floor house is 10 feet wall. Okay, so 10, 8 feet, either one. Both good options, your choice. I'm just going to keep things normal, and being that this is the basement, I'm going to go 8. Okay, I'm not very tall, so 8 feet is more than enough. Okay, so what I did was I just put one line up, okay, designating the height. Now I'm going to make this really easy on myself, and I'm going to grab that rectangle tool. I'm going to click at the top of that line, and I'm going to drag it over, and then I'm going to click to the corner, and then boom, I have a whole wall. Now, I would like a wall that is thicker, just to be a little bit more realistic, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this corner, I'm going to draw a line over, and I didn't click, I just clicked once, and then I have it kind of engaged, and I'm going to go 1 foot, okay? And then if I zoom in a little bit, I can see that I have another like an end point there, okay? That right there is that 1 foot line, okay? So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to go up. And you can see it kind of has that little engaged spot showing me I'm directly over from the top of my wall. I'm going to click and then click again, and now I have this little section, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my push pull tool, highlight over that, drag it all the way across, hit on that end point, and now I have a thicker wall. Now I'm just going to do the same thing on each side. This is at 1 point, 1 foot. Bring this over, put it on the edge. Need to rotate just a little bit. All right, now I have a decent foundation for my basement, okay? Now, things that you want to think about, okay? Does anyone live in my basement? Because if someone does, if there are rooms in my basement, I don't mean literally like 2 people live in my basement, but outside of myself. If I'm going to have rooms in my basement, sorry, I should clarify. If I'm going to have rooms in my basement, I need to have windows. There are rules when building houses, codes that you have to follow, and your house, if you are to have living space, below ground level, you have to have windows that people can get out of in the middle of the night or whatever, in case there's a fire. So if I want to make this basement livable, I need to make sure I put windows. I think first I need to decide how to get to my basement. So I think I'm going to just start off right off the bat and put in some stairs. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sort of to the middle, I think. I'm going to just drag my pencil along this line until I find the midpoint. Okay. And then I'm going to drag this line out. Now, stairs generally are about 3 feet wide. Okay. I'm going to put that line right there. And then on kind of a general sense, they are about 8 inches deep. Okay. So I'm going to put a second line there. 8 inches. And then I'm going to bring that line over. Now what I have is, what happened was I made this tiny little rectangle on the top of the platform, of like the very highest level of my basement. And then all of a sudden it filled in this giant rectangle right here, and I can no longer see the rest of it. All I have to do is I can just click this big area right there, delete it, and I still have that tiny little rectangle. Okay. So I have this tiny little rectangle right there, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab my push-pull tool. I'm going to pull it down, and I'm just going to type in 8 inches, and now I have this little block right there. Pretty cool. Now, I could keep doing that for the entire stair. I could just make a little rectangle, bring it down, make it 8 inches, and just make block after block after block, okay? But SketchUp is an amazing tool that you can do a lot of things with. So why go through the effort of so many clicks of creating a block when I can shorten that work time? Now, remember I said that depending on when you use your pointer tool, you can drag and click down and to the right or drag and click down to the left, okay? If you drag, you click and drag and down to the right, you get this solid box. Now, it only selects things that are completely contained within that box. Now, if I look at this, I've got a wall in this box, I've got that cube in the box, and part of the floor in the box, but they are not completely contained. The only thing completely contained is this cube. So if I do that, I see that, yep, it is just the cube that is completely selected. Now, pretty cool. I can hit Control, holding it, hit C, and then hit V, and I have now, why did that rotate? I now have this shape, the same thing repeating. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click it to the side, and then I'm on the move tool, I'm going to click this top corner, and then I'm going to move it, and then snap it right to that edge, okay? I could do this, just keep hitting Control V, okay? And then it's going to, SketchUp is pretty cool because it's kind of smart, and now instead of constantly having to grab that corner, it now automatically centers my point off of that corner. So all I have to do is keep hitting Control V, and I could just keep adding bricks as I go. Now, the one cool thing about this is I could keep doing that, and that's fine. I'm going to do that real quick just to show you. Keep hitting Control V, keep pasting these little blocks. And now I have some stairs. Okay, that could be it. Or, you know, if I was kind of impatient, I could stop right there, and I could select more stairs at once, same way, copy, paste, and create more than one at a time. So then ultimately I'll have to figure out how many I need. So either way, both good options. Still have some stairs. What I'll probably want to do next is designate where some rooms are. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make these stairs kind of solid off to this one side. All I need to do from that is just drag a straight line down and then over, and then boom, they look solid now. Okay. Probably put some weird little room underneath there for storage or something. Okay. With it set up like this, it's just a matter of where you want things. I think I'm just going to keep it relatively simple for right now. So at least I can figure out where to put everything. Now it looks like I've got a room, and I could probably then from here decide where I want to put some bedrooms. Any questions so far? You want to encounter anything that you don't quite know, or are we all just so excited and good? Yeah, it's just good. We don't have any questions, thoughts, concerns. Thoughts, no. Yep. Ooh, good question. All right, so let's say I'm going to put in a bathroom. Okay, I'm going to put it right here, kind of behind the stairs. So just give me a quick second to put some walls up for our bathroom. Right, so this room right here is going to be my bathroom. So let's find some stuff to put in there, and we'll see how they scale up. So we've got our warehouse. Oh, okay. Rotate it? Sure. Those can be handled pretty close. Right, so obviously I'm making a bathroom, I need a toilet, right? So I'm gonna put this toilet in, okay? Here it is, right there, okay? Now, for me, since I put it at the right size, I'm using like real dimensions, that toilet looks like it's pretty close to what I want. So let's say that I have, I don't know, I want to make this a sculpture instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that toilet over there, and I want to make it bigger, okay? So what I need to do is I've got it selected, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the move tool right here, and then I'm going to go over here and select the scale tool, okay? Once I select that, you get all these crazy green squares around it. What you want to do is you want to select on one of the corner ones, because that's going to create a uniform scale, whereas if you click on any of these opposite ones, it's just going to like stretch it out. So if I want like a really flat looking toilet or a really like long toilet, that would work. But if you want to like keep it the same size that it should be consistent, you want to grab one of these corner to corner ones, and then you can just drag it and scale it however you want. Okay, so now if I need to, instead, so that answer your question, Melanie? So if I need to rotate it instead, I'm going to go to the same menu right here. Okay, ready? Okay, to where the scale and the move, and the one in the middle is rotate. Okay, now all you need to do is you just have this rotate tool on top, and you want it blue, because that means that it's just going to rotate it from the top and rotate it over. If I put it on one of the sides, then it's going to rotate it in a whole new way, and I'm going to have a really interesting bathroom. Okay. So if I click there on the top and it's in blue, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click once on where I want to start from, so like the red axis right here, and then I'm just going to rotate it right like that, and then I'm done. And then I can move it to the side. Now there is a really cool feature that it's kind of easy to go from the move tool and use that to then place it in a little bit of an easier method. But say if I don't want to specifically go to the move tool, if you look really close, to the rotate tool, if you look really close at this, if I hover over this whole device, I have these little red points. And if you hover over the red points, then you get that move compass pops up, and you can just kind of do the rotation directly from there. So it's kind of like a shortcut, and it's pretty handy. All right, so I've got some rooms outlined. Okay, they're beginning to take shape. Probably leave them there for now. Just probably need to designate specifics on where each room is. All right, so I've got 3 rooms set there. I think I'm going to do something kind of like the Brady Bunch and have a shared bathroom between 2 rooms. So I have 2 rectangles kind of sitting next to each other, 2 squares thing. What I'm going to do is just create kind of 2 shapes sitting inside of one. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that my shapes are on the same either side. So what I'm going to do to start this is I'm just going to drag a rectangle over into this space, designating the bathroom. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that measurement. Cool. Tape measure is right here. Okay. And I'm going to measure that. So it's 4 feet, 7.5 inches. So what I can do then is I can go from there and go 4 feet, 7.5 inches. Okay. Then I know if I start from the corner, all I have to do is go right there. All right. Now you could draw doors, but I think there are doors in the warehouse, so it might even be a better option just to make a door from the warehouse. There's lots of options for that. All right, so windows. Now, if you have a window, let's see what they've got for windows here. Okay, now I found a window, and I kind of like this setup, and it looks nice. Although I'm not sure if it would be the right window for us. So see if we can find a picture. All right, so we've got a window here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it. Okay, so now it's on the same axis as before. Now I could try to like fit that window in. What I'm going to probably need is a cutout for where that window is going to go. So if I really want to put that in correctly, I need to figure out how big it is. So 2 feet and 1 inch. I'm going to put it down 2 feet 7 inches. So what I'm going to do now, since this is a little more complicated, I have thicker walls. So what I'm going to need to do is find a spot where I want to put the window. I think right there. So if I go 2 feet 7 inches, come on, 2 feet 1 inch. I have a cutout right there for where the window will go, or an outline for where the window will go. What I need to do is just to make sure that it's an actual hole, is I'm going to grab the push pull tool and then bring it to the back side right there. And then I have a hole right there for the window. What I'm going to do is grab this right here, make sure I grab on the edge, and then boom, put in the window right in. Yep. Make what's more. Then you just have the, so if we go back to the toilet, then I click on it right here, and then I go to the move tool, click on that, and then you get the scale tool right here, and then you just click on these dots, and then I can either make it really tiny, or really big, or just right. All right, so for this, we're looking at about 5-ish minutes, 6 minutes maybe. So for this, what we're going to do is, again, I want more in progress. So we're going to do that for the remainder of the time for work days with SketchUp stuff. So we're going to have another in-house house in progress, number 2. So make sure you document and upload your work from today and put it here so that you can say, yes, Mr. Simonson, I was working on my house and being productive during class. If you don't do that, then I can't completely tell if you were, right? So make sure you document and upload to there, and then I can see that, like, wow, Avery, the difference between your house from day 1 and 2 is amazing, right? And you really progressed, and I can see that. Or Conversely, wow, Bob, there is no change in your house from day 1 to 2. Did you have a lot of trouble and delete a bunch of stuff? Or were you not working? Okay. All right, so I'm going to upload this to